Hello there, beautiful people. Coach Audrey here. I've had a couple people recently tell me that they have fitness bands or Therabands, exercise bands, but they don't know any exercises to do with them. So I'm going to create a couple videos with this one, starting with some upper body exercises that you can do. If you have one of these bands, maybe you had to do physical therapy for something once and now you have one of these bands lying around the house. They're a really great tool to use, incredibly versatile. There's a huge number of exercises that you can do with them. So like I said, we're just going to do some, I'm just going to show you some upper body moves. When you're doing upper body moves, what I like to do is at least one push, one pull, and I like to work my biceps and my triceps. That's just me. So if any of these exercises, if you like them, do them. If not, don't worry about it. So I'm going to start with pushing. So what you can do is you can take your Theraband and just wrap it around your back. And you want to have a little bit of tension on it. You kind of want to have your hands as close to your shoulders as possible. What we're going to do is basically an upright push-up. I'm going to hold on to the Theraband and just push my arms out. Okay? And this works the chest muscles. So push out. If you're totally badass and you can do a push-up, you can actually get down on the ground, wrap the band around yourself, and do a push-up like this to add extra resistance to your push-ups. If you find your push-ups are getting easy, then you can do this on the ground as well. If you want to add, if you want as well, part of the reason I'm sitting in this chair is what I can do is I can wrap the band around, let's see if I can actually get it there, around the back of the chair, and now I can move a little bit further away from the chair, and you get a different feel when doing it like this. It's not right up against your back, it's not rubbing up against your arms. It's rubbing up against your arms still, but in a different way. So if it bothers you having the band right around your back, you can just loop it around the back of the chair to do the exercises. So that's one push. The other push I like to do is an overhead press. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Theraband, loop it underneath the seat. I'm just leaving it open. And I'm going to take the two ends in my hands, again, bring my hands up by my shoulders and just push straight up. Now, as you do these exercises, I'm just, sitting here on this chair, but you still want to kind of engage your abs, sit up nice and tall and straight, and not just slouch. You don't want to have a bad form when doing any exercise. So go ahead and just push straight up with the band. And with most of these bands, the different colors are different intensities. So I have this blue band, which is sort of a medium strength. I also have a gray band, which is a grayish black band. That one's much harder. It's a thicker rubber. And there are ones like the yellow and red, which are even lighter intensity. So you can pick one that works for you. And if you've got one, the shorter, the closer I get down, the closer I move my hands down, the harder this gets. You see, I can barely get it up at this point. So it just depends on how much tension you put on the band, how easy or difficult the exercise is going to be, so you can scale it that way. So we did chest pushing, and we've done shoulder pushing. So then for pulling, what I like to do is I like to sit here and I'm going to wrap this around my feet, wrap the band around my feet, hold on to the ends of the band and pull. For some reason, if I just hold the bands the way they are and pull, this is awkward for me, and I don't understand why, but if you cross the bands, for some reason all of a sudden this is no longer awkward. I'm not really sure why, but that's how it works for me. So you can just go ahead and pull. You can keep the, if you want to keep your elbows in, you can get a low pull, which works one part of your back, or you can turn your wrists over and do a more medium pull this way, which works another part of your back. And you can even, instead of holding with an overhand grip as I'm doing here, I'm going to switch to an underhand grip. I'm going to bring the band up even higher and do what's called a face pull. So I'm going to bring the bands up towards my face. This one, the face pull, is especially good if you sit in front of a computer all day, hunched over. This exercise right here is so good for your posture, okay? So those are some pulling exercises you can do. Now, again, you can do bicep curls, so I'm just gonna stand on the band, and I can curl the band up to work my biceps. Alternately, as I had it looped under the seat, I could have just left it looped under the seat of the chair and pulled up that way. At least on this style chair, you're a lot more secure that the band isn't going to slip and, you know, hit you in the face. So you can go ahead and do curls. And then to work your triceps, it's a little bit crazy. So what I want to do is I want to drape the band down my back with one hand. I want to take this arm and grab the band from the other side, kind of like this sort of, you know, yoga pose here. So I'm going to hold the band with one arm, hold the band with the other, and then I am going to just straighten this arm up. Okay, so just in case, since I was facing the other way, I'm just holding the band this way, and I'm just going to straighten my top arm up. The bottom arm isn't moving, I'm just moving my top arm to work my triceps. Okay? And then when I'm done, I can just go ahead and switch, let this hang down this way, grab it with this arm. You will find that you have one way being more flexible than the other. One way is just going to be a lot easier for you than another. So then you just go ahead and do that. For most of my exercises, I generally like to work up to about 3 sets of 10 reps for everything. It's just really easy to remember, and that's just how I do my exercises. If you're doing weights, and I can get into this a bit more later, but if I'm doing weights, usually if I go up in a weight, I will start at around 6 to 7 reps. And then each time I try to increase my reps, and then once I get to where I can do 10 reps per set with not too much trouble, add some more weight. So with the Theraband, you know, you can try and see if you can maybe mark it where you're grabbing the band and try to make it more and more difficult by increasing the tension. If it's too easy, go up another color. All right, so hopefully, again, for those of you who have Therabands around the house, this was helpful and gives you some ideas of what you can do with it. And I will be back later and with another video showing you how to use this for lower body exercises. Have a good one, everybody.